Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Elena.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
And it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but for
No.
you, it's probably June.
I was like, no.
I was like, I'm going somewhere with this.
Me and Mikey both were like, no, it's not that.
I was
She's
like,
wait,
for me
just
it is.
Give me a moment.
Just let me live.
Yeah.
It's literally almost Christmas for us. We're 5
It's
days
the new
out.
year for you. It's 2025. What's it like in the future?
It's been the new year for you.
Yeah. Is it cool there?
I hope so.
Is everything better? What are the drones doing?
Oh my God,
in
I was
2025?
just going to say that. They could abduct me. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not aliens.
I was
in
going
my
to say they
opinion.
won't because it's not aliens. It's
But,
the
like-
government. So I don't want them to abduct me.
No, I'm not saying the government. I would like aliens
yeah.
to come through and pick me up because I'm scared.
Because I'm scared.
Can you pick me up, aliens?
I'm just kind of
scared.
complacent now.
That's like scary for you, though.
Yeah,
I don't like
I'm
that.
like numb to it. I'm just like, well, it
No,
is
I
what
know.
it is.
I got that too. It's so funny. I had like, welcome to my therapy sessions. I had like the worst end of the world anxiety for a long time, like especially this year.
Yeah.
I think just like the mental state that I was in really fed that. But now I'm just like, I feel like one, people have always thought the world was ending. And that
Absolutely.
helps me immensely. Like,
Literally
I'm like,
always.
It's fine. And then can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so like why?
My
Why
therapist
stress
like
about it?
really did some great fucking work on my
Yeah.
mind.
She did.
Yeah. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to all my therapists throughout the years. There's been like 8 of them.
Pour one out for
Pour
all
one
your
out for each of
therapists.
them. each one of them.
Each one.
Each one. Well, I have an interesting case for us today that has nothing to do with therapy and everything to do with robbery.
Oh, well, there we go. We told you we were going to give you a little palate cleanser-y kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely palate cleanser-y. This has just like, put 'em up, fella.
Yeah,
those
like
kind of vibes.
she's got a transatlantic accent.
Yes, 100%.
She's got the bob haircut.
Yeah, there's so many quotes throughout this, and I don't know if I'm great at a transatlantic accent, but I'm definitely
That
gonna
one was
try.
interesting, but I have faith in you.
No, that's fair. I'm also really tired.
Mikey also.
No, it wasn't good.
It was Mikey's worried that everyone's gonna come after me, probably.
Listen,
Yeah.
they love me, so
Sorry.
you better cool
No,
it.
it was awesome. That was such a good
Oh,
transition.
now they're really gonna come after you because that was fake as fuck.
No, but I wish
Killer.
everybody saw
just kidding.
the finger
guns.
that went along with it because it really added to it. I liked it.
Yeah, it was. I do what I can.
Yeah. I'm gonna punch Ash in the face after this.
Guys, she hits me a lot all the time. It's crazy. I don't know how to transition out of that. I was like, where do we go from here? Leave all the lights on, please. All right. So, robbery, transatlantic accent, and ladies.
And what is this case called? It has a fun name.
It's called, and you already know because you pressed the episode, but for those of you who didn't read it, The Bobbed-Haired Bandit.
See, that's what I'm talking
The
about.
Bobbed-Haired Bandit.
That's what we need after the Blackout Ripper.
And you know what? I have a fuck-ass bob right now.
You do have a fuck ass.
So I feel seen. And my hairdresser just had her baby, so I'm gonna have a fuck-ass bob for longer than I thought, which is totally fine. Welcome to the world, T. But it was the perfect time to do this story.
Absolutely. You and your fuck ass bob.
Cementing in my fuck-ass bobdom, and let's go.
Fuck ass bobdom. I like
Fuck-ass
that.
bobdom.
I like
Our
it.
hashtag's still a thing. Use that.
Let's go.
I'm old. All right. A little past 9:30 on the evening of January 5th, 1924, one Lester Loudon. That's his
Lester.
name. Lester. Isn't that a cute name?
Aw.
Like Lester Holt. I love him.
Lester Loudon.
Lester Loudon. He was working at the Thomas Rulston Grocery in Park Slope, Brooklyn. That night had been pretty quiet, and as the evening was going on, fewer and fewer customers were coming in. The store was completely empty when a young woman entered. And let me tell you, baby, she was serving looks. She was wearing a seal fur coat over a beautifully beaded dress. It looked like she was on her way to a party.
Oh, damn.
He said, "Who's that girl?"
In her fuck ass bob.
And he didn't even know who Madonna was yet, so it was
No.
crazy. But the woman approached the counter where he was standing, and she had her hands in her coat pockets, and she just said, "Hello, can I have a dozen eggs?" I can't do transatlanticism, so hashtag death cab for cutie.
It's a great song.
It really is. It gets you crying.
Oh, it does.
Oh, all right. Well, as Loudon was wrapping up the eggs for this beautiful young woman, she took a few steps back from the counter and pulled out a .25 automatic pistol from that seal fur coat. And she shouted
Damn.
at him, "Stick 'em up, quick!"
She did like a Mae West style.
That was my best shirt. Impress him. Bitch.
She said, "I'm happy to see you," and it's a gun.
Wait, you're good at it. Shh, don't do that. This is my episode and not
Damn
yours. But he immediately threw them hands in the air. Like
Hell yeah, I
Like he
would.
did care.
Like he did.
He cared very much in that
He
moment.
deeply cared.
He was obviously focused on the woman in front of him with a giant pistol, but he also noticed that in the time it had taken him to get the what? I was just gonna say eggs, but then my mouth went to say ass. I don't know. It's a romantic vibe in this fucking Lowe's, this grocery store. It's the end of the year. I'm so tired.
I'm like, but did she get the eggs?
She didn't want the eggs.
I want the eggs.
And the time it had taken them to get the eggs, I'm getting eggs today. Happy eggs.
Yay, me too.
A man had entered the store and was now corralling the other clerks to the back of the store. Like he was like,
damn.
everybody back here. Now the woman...
Everybody back here now.
Yeah. The woman motioned for Loudon to join the other clerks. She was like, "Go on, get back there." And she held her gun on all of them. And the man shouted to her, "Hold him back," as he started rifling through the register, stuffing bills and handfuls of coins into his pocket. That night also, one of the clerks hadn't pushed the cash envelope all the way into the safe, so they were also able to get that as well.
Oh, shit.
Once they grabbed all the cash in the store, $680 in total back then, which doesn't sound like a ton, that would be $12,545 today.
Holy shit.
Because this is 1924.
The roaring 20s.
They got all that money, and they started backing away in the direction of the door. And the man yelled, "Don't make a move. If you want your head blown off, just try to follow us out."
Oh, I liked that one.
Yeah, I
liked
was
that.
doing my best.
There was also some more finger guns.
Because he's backing out with guns. They said, if you want your head blown off, just try to follow us out.
Don't make a move.
Don't make any moves. Outside, they jumped into their car that was parked across the street, and they drove off, leaving the 6 clerks just huddled in the back of the store like, what the fuck just happened here?
Damn.
And probably traumatized.
Probably.
So to the police and the public, the robbery of the grocery store wasn't that shocking. It wasn't that surprising. The economy was trending downward in New York at the time. We're entering the Great Depression.
It was pretty jazzy.
It was, yeah, shit was popping off. A lot of men were out of work. It was also the time of Prohibition, so crime in general was on the rise between bootleggers and organized crime rings. It was fucking wild in the New York streets.
Yeah.
In New York, the press dubbed 1923 the gunman's year, noting that 270 murders had been committed with guns that year, many in the commission of armed robbery. Oof. So this, unfortunately, wasn't like a new concept to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of this culminated in a culture of criminality that New Yorkers simply came to accept as a reality of life in the city at this point. On a smaller level, it kind of reminds me of what you were talking about with the blackouts in the Blackout River story. It's like the setting really the setting and the time period really add to the vibe of the overall story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So while most people weren't super interested in the news of the robbery, what did catch people's attention was the fact that one of the robbers, and the one who seemed to take the lead, was a woman. And not just a woman, but she was young and she was fashionable.
She was hot.
She was hot.
She was a hot girl.
She was smoking. She did hot shit, like robbing grocery stores.
Yeah,
that's
hot
not
girl
hot shit.
shit.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
But for many New Yorkers, especially the older residents, the woman's clothing and specifically her hairstyle were very symbolic of this youth culture that was emerging during this specific period. Ooh. You know who I'm talking? I'm talking flappers. Flappers were young, sexually liberated women, especially compared to generations before them. And they just didn't give a shit when it came to things like dancing, drinking, and mixed gender socialization.
Oh my goodness.
They were talking to boys.
She's committing capers over here.
It's crazy. According to author Stephen Duncombe, older generations came to view the bobbed hairstyle as a, quote, "Are you ready? Symptom of the mentally defective."
I'm obsessed with that.
The bobbed hairstyle was a symptom of the mentally defective, and they even blamed this hairstyle for quote-unquote breaking up marriages.
Absolutely.
And then I wrote in my notes today, we call it a fuck-ass bob.
A fuck-ass bob.
And I got one. So the outrages over flappers and supposedly loose women was pretty much just like a moral panic, very similar to satanic panic. It's when the older generations are like, oh my God, the youth is crazy. It's always happened.
Yeah.
But the fact that one of these robbers appeared to fall into that category of crazy youth only strengthened the belief among many that young people were heading in a very dangerous and even criminal direction. So already under pressure.
Because of their fuck-ass bobs.
Because of their fuck-ass bobs, thank you. So already under pressure to do something about street crime in the city, Brooklyn police acted very quickly. And within a week, they arrested 22-year-old Helen Quigley, a former burlesque dancer.
Oh, come on.
She was just living with her father in Brooklyn. A few days earlier, her boyfriend, Vincent Apples Kowalski.
This is such a case.
What a time to be alive.
What a time.
I'm dating Apples Kowalski.
That's right. Who isn't?
You
know.
You know what? Yes.
You
valid
know who
question.
isn't.
So a few days before she had been arrested, Apples had been picked up on suspicion of robbery and wasted no time in confessing and also implicating Helen as his accomplice.
Wow. Loyalty.
I know, seriously. They did bear a slight resemblance to the two who had robbed the Ralston grocery, and they were actually even picked out of a photo lineup by Lester Loden. But Helen Quigley insisted that she had nothing to do with the robbery or any of the other holdups in the area. She said, "You got me wrong. Why, I'm so afraid of a gun, I can hardly look at one."
I like that.
I try. I'm really, really trying. With
You're starting to embody it.
Thank you. I automatically go Southern when I try to do an accent.
Transatlantic accents have like a hint of Southern to it.
Yeah.
So you're on there.
All right. Thank you.
I like it.
But she said, "You got me wrong.
You got me wrong.
Now, despite her declaration of innocence, she was the embodiment of the 1920s flapper, right down to her very casual demeanor when she was faced with arrest. When police went to her dad's house to arrest her, she, quote, calmly asked if she could finish drying the supper dishes before they brought her in for questioning.
Priorities, you know?
They said, ma'am, you're under arrest for robbery. And she said, my dad's going to get pissed if I don't clean up dinner.
Yeah, she's like, you think I want to leave that in the sink?
Fair enough.
Think we want rodents in here?
You know, it is New York. But according to Helen, she did have a date with Apples Kowalski on the night of the murder, but he never showed up.
That's so like Apples.
You had his number from the very beginning.
Of course I did. Apples Kowalski, come on.
Even Helen knew.
Yeah.
So she was like, what? She didn't give a fuck. She was like, I just stayed home that night. Other than that, she called Kowalski a dirty rat and a squealer.
That's right.
But she didn't say much else during the hours-long interrogation.
Damn.
The press and the police were completely certain that she was the bobbed-haired bandit who had robbed several stores in South Brooklyn neighborhoods. But that was certainly shaken just a few days later when another store was robbed. This time it was a Weinstein's drugstore. According to Louis Hecht, the clerk who was at the Weinstein's that night, this is rude, a, quote, chunky, bobbed-haired girl and her boyfriend entered the store and immediately pointed the gun at him, demanding the cash in the register. After pocketing the cash and looting the store, the girl handed him a note and told him to give it to Captain Carey of the Detective Bureau.
Oh my God, they're like, let's communicate with the cops.
Full send.
Yes.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. This part of the show is brought to you by Anua, the Korean skincare brand known for scientific, gentle, yet effective formulations. The latest from Anua is the Retinol Collagen Gua Sha Cream, a firming cream with a gua sha-shaped tip built right in. Have you guys heard of gua sha? It's that viral massage tool that moves fluid and tension out of your face. Less puffiness, a snatched jawline, honey, more definition in your face. Retinol firms and reduces fine lines, and collagen keeps your skin plump and structured. This cream has both of those things, arguably the most optimal combo for that snatched, lifted look all in one step. I am obsessed with the Gua Sha cream. First of all, it feels so cool to the touch. When you put that on your face, it's just like, this is lovely. It's like a little spa treatment that you can give yourself. I like to do mine at night after I get out of the shower. I rub the cream on my face with the little gua sha. I'm sculpting that jawline, honey. I got it on the cheekbones. And actually, I had a facial the other day, and the lady doing my facial, the professional, she said, do you use a gua sha at home? And I said, I do. And I said, how did you know that? And she said, I didn't have those little like bumps in my chin or like different areas like that. So she could tell that I was using the gua sha. And I said, oh my God. I just feel like I wake up less puffy in the morning when I do it the night before. But you can do it whenever you want to. I, 10 out of 10, recommend this product. The Anua Gua Sha Cream value set is available at anua.com, already discounted. Use code MORBID for an extra 10% off. That's ANUA.com, code MORBID. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The note read, "You dirty fish peddling bums, leave this innocent girl, Helen Quigley, alone and get the right ones, which is nobody but us. And we are going to give Mr. Hogan, the manager of Ralston's on 7th Ave, another visit, as we got 2 checks we couldn't cash. And also ask Bohack's manager, did I ruin his cash register? Also, I will visit him again, as I broke a perfectly good automatic on it. We defy you fellows to catch us." I'm so obsessed.
The fact that she was like, "You fucking bums."
No, she didn't say that.
An innocent girl. You
dirty
bums.
fish peddling bums.
Dirty fish peddling bums. You got the wrong girl in there. Looks like you got the wrong girl.
I beg of us to do better and to speak like this
to speak
again.
better.
Call people dirty fish peddling bums.
Honestly, that's a great insult.
It's I can't think of something better.
You know, I was looking up 1920s slang because I'm going to try to throw it in here as we go.
I love you.
To go on a drinking spree on a toot.
On a toot.
Just, you know where Apples is. He's just out on a toot.
On a toot. That's what your kids call a fart, so it makes it even funnier.
It's so funny. Like, everything was funnier.
It really was.
Like, I know life was not funnier because, the Depression looming and all that shit.
They
Prohibition.
added so much to it to make it worthwhile.
I was going to say, it was the stuff like this, like the linguistics of the time.
It's so good. So good. So the note was signed the bobbed-haired bandit and companion.
I love that she called herself the bob-haired bandit.
Yeah, I think they had already dubbed her at that point, and she was
but
like,
I love that
me.
she was like, I'll take it.
She said, and companion.
And my companion. Like, he's not. Yeah, my
companion.
That egg over there.
I love it. So this note seemed to have been written explicitly for the purpose of proving the innocence of Helen Quigley and her man Apples there.
Good for her. She's trying to get that girl out. She's like, it's me.
At that point, those Apples and Helen Quigley had been arraigned on robbery and assault charges.
Oh.
So they're like headed for the big house.
Oh, damn.
But by the time they received the note, Captains Carey and Sullivan had actually started to question whether Helen was actually guilty. And the latest robbery at the Weinsteins seemed to indicate that she probably wasn't the bandit.
Yeah.
So after Helen Quigley and Apple Kowalski's arraignment, I keep wanting to say arrangement.
You can say that. It's arranged.
It's arranged. Their arraignment and the announcement that they would be held on $20,000 bond. Another letter arrived for the police, and this one was more forceful than the last. The writer said, "Why don't you see that Helen Quigley is let go? You cops are rotten, as she ain't guilty. If you can't find the guilty party, you grab the first one you get a hold of, if you hold a grudge against them."
Wow.
She said, "You guys are filthy and fake."
She said, wow, you're real dumb.
Pretty much. Unfortunately, the note had the opposite effect that the writer intended. The judge actually doubled Quigley and Kowalski's bond.
Damn.
And was pretty certain that the writer was just a third accomplice trying to weaken their case against the pair. But as the robberies continued, so did the letters to the police and to members of the press. On January 22nd, the editor of the Standard Union received a note that read, "I must say we have a wonderful police force. They must all be asleep. Cold nights are the best to stick people up. The cops and bulls have hangouts and are always in on cold, wet nights. I passed 2 cops and bulls standing on Fulton Street and Bedford Avenue Saturday night. I asked one of them where Keeney's Theater was, and they directed me. I almost laughed in their faces to think they were talking to the one they were looking for, and can plainly see they blind or asleep."
I'm not condoning anything that she has done.
Nah.
It's kind of iconic.
No, it's truly iconic.
It's kind of iconic.
She said,
she's like, I was right in your face. And you didn't even
she
care.
said, LOL.
And you got the wrong person. I'm telling you, you got the wrong person, and you're still not letting her go.
Yeah.
Like,
But
damn.
I love what she's doing. here.
Damn.
So by late January, store clerks and residents were seeing the bandit and her companion all over Brooklyn. On January 21st, a grocer in Brooklyn claimed he'd been robbed of $600 by the pair, who escaped in a car that they had parked around the corner.
Which obviously, like, that part is not great because you're like, these grocers do not deserve to be
Terrorized.
losing their their work. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like their, what they use to put food on their table. So
And like the clerks
fucked up.
being scared to go to work. Like,
exactly.
that's not
Like
cool.
none of that is cool. Her notes are hilarious to the cops.
Just to clarify.
Yeah.
But that same night that the other robbery happened, 4, quote, boy bandits ranging in age from 14... Boy bandits. Ranging in age from 14 to 18 held up several stores in the Bronx and took more than $700, which would be $13,000 in today's
Get it
money.
together, everyone.
I'm like, how did you hide that from your parents?
Damn.
Now, even though there was no apparent connection between these and the other holdups, the press still subtly implied that there was definitely an epidemic of violence and robberies being perpetrated by young people across the city.
Damn.
It's kind of just a fact.
Yeah.
One journalist wrote, every other night or so, the frightened proprietor of a chain grocery store would back away from a crouching, snarling little demon whose eyes blazed over the sights of an ugly automatic, a foul-mouthed fury who but a moment before had seemed in the background.
Wow.
Why can't we do better? Why can't we talk like this?
Why can't we? They used to call policemen elbows.
Shut the fuck. Why? I need an explanation on that one.
Just call them elbows.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Well, with each new bandit letter published in the paper, the public had new material to inform the growing mockery and the jokes aimed at the police who were unable to catch the pair. After a run of particularly rainy days in late January, the Standard Union joked, if this weather keeps up, the girl with the bobbed hair may try her luck in getting away with a red-hot stove.
Whoa.
They said, the cops don't really work well during the rain, so she's going nuts. The increase in public criticism was very clearly starting to irritate city officials. In an article published in the New York Herald, Mayor John F. Hyland angrily told a reporter, there isn't any bobbed-haired bandit. That's only a myth.
You're just flim-flamming us.
I'm like, sir, she's been seen. She's been
witnessed by several people who have been held up at these stores.
Like, is everybody just making this up?
Yeah, they just don't want to admit
It's a hoax.
You know what this is? There's a lady that's
Getting the best of them.
making us run for our money here, and we're not happy with it.
Yeah, she should stay in the kitchen where she belongs. Whether he genuinely believed that or not, there was indeed a bobbed-haired bandit, and the failure to capture her was definitely starting to make the NYPD look like a bunch of idiots.
They were so mad.
And they were pissed.
They were so mad.
So on the night of January 26th, a contingent of 200 police officers, picture that, 200, scattered across neighborhoods all over Brooklyn, intent on capturing the bobbed-haired bandit and her companion. I love companion. Believing that the pair were sure to strike that night, as they had the previous 5 Saturdays, officers stood watch outside of grocery stores, drugstores, and even delis around the city, just waiting for that bandit to make a mistake. And at that same time, another large group of officers were assigned to watch over the home of NYPD Commissioner Richard Enright after one of the bandits' notes referenced making a visit to the man's home.
Oh, damn.
But by the time the police had spread out their net, the bandit had already robbed 8 businesses of nearly $2,000.
Holy shit.
Which would be $37,000 in today's cash.
Damn.
And showed no signs of slowing down or even losing any kind of confidence.
Because why slow down? They're not catching you.
It's raining. I gotta go.
Yeah, it's raining.
However, despite that large-scale effort, there was no sign of the bandit that January 26th night. And the next day, the press reported on yet another failure by the police.
Uh-oh.
In the meantime, John Hyland expressed his complete support in Commissioner Enright and the NYPD, writing, "It has always seemed to me a very regrettable feature of life in New York that some of the newspapers, consciously or unconsciously, aid in attempts to dislodge a fearless police commissioner."
Wow.
She's like, it's the newspaper's fault.
It's,
that
obviously.
we can't catch this person.
Obviously,
who
it's the
doesn't
newspaper.
exist.
It's like, you're the one who's saying that she doesn't even exist.
Exactly. But now, as far as he was concerned, the bobbed-haired bandit wasn't the problem. The press was. He already said that he thought she was a myth created by the press to sell papers. And he later said, true, occasionally a girl may commit a larceny, but there's surely no occasion for the scareheads about girl bandits.
The scareheads.
The scareheads. Nor for moralists to say that the town is infested with them.
He's like, girl bandits aren't real.
That is exactly the energy that he is delivering.
Girl bandits are fake.
Girl bandits have cooties.
No, there's only boy bandits.
You can't be a girl bandit.
No.
Ugh. You're stupid.
So funny.
But he said he was confident that if they could crack down on the press and prevent them from fueling this public hysteria, the bobbed-haired bandit would just disappear and people would go on with their lives.
Yeah.
Because the press had no interest or reason to stop reporting on the bandit. As long as she continued to pull off these robberies around the city, and as long as readers were interested in her antics, they were going to keep publishing the stories to sell those papers.
Yeah.
And they didn't give a shit how it made the police look. They're like, make yourselves look better. By early February, the local papers honed in on a new theory detectives had been developing, and it was that despite all reports, the bobbed-haired bandit was not a woman at all, but perhaps a young man disguising himself by wearing young woman's clothing.
Because once again, there's no way that this is a girl bandit.
They said a girl is not defying us like this.
Yeah.
It must be a man.
Yeah.
While some may have found the theory more credible than others, just as many dismissed it as nonsense, noting that many of the witnesses, quote, described the bandit's feet and shoes as typically feminine, and her walk as characteristic of a member of the weaker sex.
Adorable. It makes me think of in Scream 1 when Stu is like, no, there's no way a girl could have killed him. And Randy's like, it takes a man to do something like that.
Oh my God, it's so true. That's the perfect quote
That's
for this.
that's the vibe that I'm getting. It takes a man to do something like that.
I love it. That's exactly what this is giving.
That's the vibe.
Now, the bandit and her companion, they did lay low for a few weeks, and that was until early February when they were back at it again.
Hell yeah.
With the fuck-ass Bob.
Hell yeah, she's getting out there with her glad rags.
What's a glad rag? Tell us all
Fancy
about
clothes.
it. Oh my God, her glad rags.
She's going to go commit a caper.
Is that a crime?
Yeah.
A robbery?
A crime.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, they were back on the job and they landed themselves right back on the front pages of the New York papers. A little after 10 p.m. on the evening of February 3rd, the bobbed-haired bandit entered an H.C. Bohat grocery store on Lafayette Street and approached the counter, wearing what the press described as a saucy turban trimmed with fur.
Oh.
I love a saucy turban.
Saucy turban.
Now, despite the late hour, there were still several store clerks behind the counter and actually 3 customers waiting in line. When she reached the counter, the bandit asked the butcher, Peter Crossman, for a whole chicken. She said, 1 whole chicken, please.
Me too.
Same. He disappeared into the deli, and when he returned with the chicken, the bandit pulled a revolver from her coat pocket and said, 1 peep and you're a dead butcher.
She said, hey, grab a little air. That's also slang. What does that mean? That means put your hands up.
Grab a little air. I just love that she made like a chicken joke. 1
Yeah,
peep.
I love that.
I love it. And you're a dead butcher. So the butcher dropped the chicken on the floor and threw his hands up in the air because, again, he did care.
Yeah, he grabbed a little air.
The bandit then whistled, and within seconds, her companion was by her side, pistol in hand. And I just picture her doing the pinkies in the mouth kind of whistle.
The pinkies in the mouth whistle.
Wah, wah.
Hell yeah.
I wish I could do that kind of whistle.
The wah, wah.
She then directed Kosman and the other clerks to the back of the store. While the bandit kept everybody at the back of the store, the man went through the cash registers, stuffing bills into his pockets. $150 in total that night. Today, that'd be about $2,700. Once they emptied the registers, they backed their way out of the store, loudly declaring that they would shoot anybody who made a move or yelled for the police. And once they got outside, they just jumped in their car and they sped off.
And they said bye.
A few days later, police arrested 19-year-old Mary Cody for this robbery, and they declared they had finally got her. This was their bobbed-haired bandit.
Doubt it.
They claimed Moore wasn't acting alone, but rather, she was the leader of a gang of bandits.
Oh.
That included her boyfriend, Matthew Boyd. Boyd. That's you, my girl.
I love a
And
Boyd.
me, my girl. And a man by the name of Richard Gibbons. Mary Cody and the 2 men were accused of several taxi cab holdups in the area, but the only evidence connecting her to the bandit robberies was the fact that she owned a seal fur coat and wore her hair in a bobbed style.
Yeah. Seems a little hinky to me.
She had a coat and a bob. I just want you to let that sink in.
That's it.
Unfortunately, when their robbery victims were shown photographs of this woman and her 2 accomplices, quote unquote, they all denied that she was the bandit. They said, nah, that's not the girl.
They said, nah, she's just got a coat.
And they said, okay, fine. And they arrested another young woman just 1 day later. They said, all right, Mary, it's not you, but I think it's Rose Moore.
Yeah, me too.
We're going to go arrest her.
Yeah.
And they arrested her after her mother reported her missing to the police. When a detective caught up with Rose, she was wearing a sealskin coat
Ooh.
and a pink hat over her bobbed ass hair.
Over her bobbed ass
hair. The arresting detective told the Brooklyn Eagle he was, quote, satisfied in his own mind that Rose Moore and the notorious bobbed-haired bandit, wily and defiant, were one and the same. But the next day, it was clear she had nothing to do with the holdups, and she was released from custody. Her brother, Edward, who actually was the one to report his suspicions of her to the police, later said, Rose is a good girl, but fond of fun, and I suppose I was too strict with her. My sister had no record of any kind against her, of course, and it was really my fault that she received this unpleasant publicity.
Wow.
Fond of fun.
You're a shitbag.
He was like, you're having too much fun. I'm going to make them think you're a bandit.
You have a fuck-ass bob. I'm going to put you in the big house.
Men suck.
Like, you're the worst. Are you kidding?
Horrible.
He's like, and it's like her brother. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up,
Shut the fuck
Kyle.
up, sibling. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
She's having too much fun. I got to throw her in the big house.
You're not my dad.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Well, by this point, Helen Quigley and Mary Cody were actually still in custody of on suspicion
these
of
poor
being...
people.
They're just like... They're arresting more people while they have all the bobbed-haired girls in little holding cells.
All of them.
Police were arresting or detaining anybody who fit the description of the bandit and her companion, desperate to close the case.
And her companion.
They were just desperate to close the case. They wanted to end all the public criticism. Meanwhile, as detectives interrogated Rose Moore, the real bandit continued writing notes, just taunting the police and condemning the press for printing lies about her. You know that feeling when you come home late from work and those puppy dog eyes just pierce right through your soul? Or when you're packing for a trip and your cat refuses to leave your suitcase? Yeah, we've all been there. Pet parent guilt is real. And you know what? It's completely normal. That's exactly why Hill's Pet Nutrition exists. They understand that being a pet parent means being human, with all of our imperfections and daily juggling acts. Hill's science-led nutrition helps you give more love than humanly possible. Whether it's those long work days or trying to balance attention between multiple pets, Hill's Pet Nutrition gets it. They've created science-based nutrition that supports your pet's lifelong health so you can feel confident even when life gets hectic. Because you're only human, there's Hill's. Science does more. Ready to let go of the guilt? Find the right food at hillspet.com/podcast. That's hillspet.com/podcast. Do you remember in school when you just knew that your teacher had a favorite of everything? They would always use the same blue dry erase marker when they wrote on the board, or they would talk nonstop about their favorite element during science. I had a teacher once that literally had a favorite brand of marker. She would only write with specific markers, and if another marker ended up in her classroom, she was TO'd. And honestly, I was probably her favorite student because at the end of the year, I got her that specific brand of marker. Let's talk about their real favorite thing though, their favorite tissue brand. Kleenex. According to Teacher List, they are the #1 facial tissue trusted by teachers. Kleenex Ultra Soft tissues are silky soft to help prevent skin irritation, and now you can take them anywhere with Kleenex Snap and Go. I absolutely love Kleenex Snap and Go. It's so perfect to have that in your car. I had a cold last week and I was just... Honey, my nose was a faucet. I hate to do this to you, but it was disgusting. Drew literally came out of our garage with like 15 of the Kleenex Snap and Goes, and I put those in my glove compartment, and honey, they were easy access. It was so nice knowing that I didn't have to blow my nose into like an old wrapper that I had. Ew. So do the best thing for your kids' teachers and stock up on the ultimate classroom favorite. Maybe it'll make them their teacher's favorite student. They definitely have a favorite. Don't even get me started because again, you know it was me. For whatever happens next, grab Kleenex. The best summer pieces are the ones you end up wearing on repeat. Comfortable, versatile, and somehow right for almost every occasion. Quince makes it easy to create a summer wardrobe that you'll love, with elevated essentials made from premium materials like European linen, organic cotton, and washable silk, without the traditional retail markup. I love that! Quince's 100% European linen pants, dresses, and tops are the pieces that you absolutely will reach for all summer long. I absolutely love their linen. I have so many pairs of their linen pants, which you can dress up or you can dress down in the summer. Like, say you're going to a nice dinner, you can pair it with like a silk shirt, a really cute necklace, some good, makeup and an updo. Or if you're just looking for a more casual look, you can do the linen pants with like a loose button-up shirt and you still look really chic, kind of like, I don't know, Diane Keaton vibes, I kind of think.
Also, it's not just apparel. Quince also offers elevated essentials for your home, from bedding and bath to kitchen essentials and furniture. They have it all, honey. I am a big lover of Quince, and I really do think you will be too. Make your summer wardrobe feel easier. Go to quince.com/morbid for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/morbid for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/morbid.
After an interview with the supposed bandit appeared in the Brooklyn Eagle, the editor received a note that read, "Dear sir, the interview you printed about the bobbed-haired bandit was a fake and you ought to be exposed. It seems to me that you would have more to do than sit down and just make things up. Personally, I think you are a bum. I have never been interviewed, as a matter of a fact, and I defy you. P.S. I also defy the police. A photographic copy of this letter has been turned over to the police of the popular street station." I think you are a bum.
We need to start calling people bums again.
Bring it back.
We have to.
Call people bums 2025.
Yeah, 2025, we're bringing back calling people bums.
Personally, I think you are a bum.
Yeah.
It should be said that while the bobbed-haired bandit did write a lot of notes to the police and the press, there were countless other fake notes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Written by anonymous senders. It's not always known which is which, but...
But all of them are, they have such zest and flair.
They do have such zest and flair. What else do they have?
They're very hotsy-totsy.
They are very hotsy-totsy.
And you know what? We got a lot of bob-haired patsies sitting in the big house right now.
Tell me everything. What? Bob-haired patsies?
Yeah, patsies are people who are set up. A fool, a chump.
A chump.
And they're sitting in the big house in jail.
This is too much. I love it so much. I wish we were dressed like swanky.
I know.
I'm wearing sweatpants.
We need to do a listener tale that's 1920s themed so we can go.
Literally yesterday.
I don't know how we do that, but we'll figure it out.
We could just read regular tales and just decide to be
1920s.
1920s. I love it.
I like it.
Well, regardless, the letters became so popular with readers that the Brooklyn Eagle just continued collecting them and publishing them now on a weekly basis.
Damn.
Much to the irritation of the police.
I imagine.
Because not only did the letters make detectives look foolish for their inability to catch the bandit, but they also reminded New Yorkers that crime was still a big problem in the city, and that fact reflected very poorly on Police Commissioner Enright. After a few weeks of downtime, the bandit popped up again in late February, this time wielding a pistol in each hand. Well, she got one too.
Oh, damn.
And this was when she and her companion robbed the James Butler grocery in Brooklyn. By that point, the public had started mistakenly seeing the bandit everywhere. So when the woman entered the store wearing her, quote, 3/4 length sealskin coat and her black turban, one of the customers shouted, "The bob-haired bandit! She's arrived! Here she is!" The pair went through their usual routine, corralling the customers and the clerks to the back of the store while one of them went through the registers, and then they backed out of the store with their guns drawn and said, "Don't tell anybody."
And they said, "Oh my God, it's really a skirt."
What does that one mean?
She's a real skirt.
She's a real skirt? What's it mean?
A woman.
A woman? Oh my God, it's a woman. Now
It's a skirt bandit.
As they made their way out of the door, the bandit shouted, "Give us 10 minutes to get away or you'll be sorry." This time, the total takeaway was less than $60, but still a good sum of money. That'd be about $1,000 today.
Yeah.
The latest string of robberies led the police to devise a new strategy, though, casting an even wider net and questioning nearly anyone who met even one of the bandits' descriptors. However, while this strategy was intended to catch the criminal, it had the unintended effect of scaring or just straight up inconveniencing the female members of the public. By the end of February, detectives had put so much emphasis on the bandits' hair and clothing that women all over the city started altering their appearances so that they wouldn't be mistaken for the bandit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. One hairstylist told the reporter, "Girls won't bob their hair anymore, and the ones who have theirs already bobbed are letting it grow as fast as they can."
They're just encouraging their hair to grow.
Like, please grow.
Every
please
night
grow,
they're
please
like,
grow.
"Please grow faster." That's how that works.
They're using rosemary oil.
Biology.
The sentiment was shared by others in the beauty industry and only led to more criticism of the police and, of course, their inability to catch this bobbed-haired bandit.
I love her.
Another stylist told reporters, "It's a shame the way the police are playing hide and seek with the girl and letting her outwit them all the time." I love this. "A police force of bobbed-haired girls would catch her soon enough." She said, "Fuck that. Why don't we take all these bobbed-haired arrestees and make them the police?"
Yeah, they're out here. They're tooting the wrong ringer.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not like barking up the wrong tree.
Asking the wrong person.
I love it. Tooting up the wrong ringer. Fortunately for the NYPD, it would not come to that, but I do love the image that conjures.
I immediately thought of a bunch of fuck-ass bob-haired flappers just walking in,
Freeze!
flashing a badge.
Put them up! I love it.
I love it.
Oh, I want to be one. The robberies continued into March, and of course, so did the sensational press coverage. Soon enough, the bandit was being celebrated by most as a kind of anti-hero, and obviously an early feminist figure pushing back on the suffocating norms and restrictions imposed by a world ruled of stinky, stupid men.
There you go.
One journalist wrote for the Brooklyn Eagle, "Brooklyn's girl bandit is merely part of the great world revolt against authority and correct principles, using her energies on the only plane open to her in which she can revolt."
Well,
They said, she's got a bob and she's robbing people and fuck men.
yeah. She's no weak sister.
No. Oh, love it. By the end of March, Commissioner Enright was fucking pissed. And the NYPD and him had become so frustrated with the situation that he started to speak out to the press about how he might have to step into the investigation and bring the bandit in himself. He said, "I had about reached the conclusion that I would have to go out and get her myself. I'm not so sure that she is not a short-haired man."
Oh, see, we can't just give it. It's a skirt.
I'm like, no, she's a skirt and she's
Yeah.
getting the best of you, Commissioner.
Yeah, and you're just upset about it.
His comments were aimed at the critics of the police, but it's also clear from his statement that the bandit's gender was at least some degree of a threat to him.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, he would have never called it into question.
Exactly.
Asshole.
I'm saying.
For months, the bandit and her companion had been holding up drugstores and
My favorite part, to be honest.
Her companion and groceries around the city, all without firing a single shot or harming anybody. No shots had been fired up to this point.
Which, thankful for that.
But that all changed on April 1st, when the pair attempted to rob the payroll department of the National Biscuit Company.
Whoa.
Which is a company that I would love to support.
I was going to say, that place is near and dear to my heart.
Same. Now, the heist was to be the biggest of their career thus far, not only because it was supposed to be the biggest payout, but also because it occurred in broad daylight while a large number of clerks were present. That morning, the couple actually hired a car to take them to the biscuit company, which I'm going to do that too, but I'm not going to rob them. I'm just going to buy a lot of biscuits.
I'm getting a car to go to the biscuit company right now.
Nabisco. National Biscuit Company.
Nabisco.
Oh my God.
I never knew that. Mikey just told us Nabisco.
Mikey just cracked the code. I
National
never knew that.
Biscuit Company.
What the fuck?
I'm going to support them.
Boom.
Well, when they arrived to Nabisco, the man pointed a gun at the driver, Arthur West, and told him to get in the back of the car. Once West had been tied up and placed on the floor in the back seat, the bandit took over the wheel and they continued down the street to the National Biscuit warehouse. Nabisco, waha. Once they reached their destination, they parked on the street outside the waha warehouse and entered through the front door and climbed the stairs straight to the administrative offices. So on the second floor, the young woman walked to the caged-in payroll office, and she stepped up to the desk and handed the clerk, Nathan Mazzo, an envelope. Mazzo opened the envelope and took out the paper inside, but it appeared to be blank. When he looked up, prepared to question the woman in front of him, he found himself staring into the barrel of the bobbed-haired bandit's pistol. Uh-oh. Seconds later, the bandit's male companion appeared at her side with pistols in both hands and a handkerchief covering his face.
Oh.
The payroll office erupted into chaos as the clerks and secretaries started running, trying to escape the gunman. But the bandit kept focused on Mazzo, and the other man corralled the employees and forced them into a smaller office just adjacent to the payroll cage. Now, as the staff began filing into the small office, Mazzo was last in line, and he appeared to make a move for the bandit's gun, grabbing her arm when he passed by her. The bandit fell back away from Mazzo, tumbling over a chair and falling to the floor. Seeing what was happening, her companion fired 2 shots, hitting Mazzo in the arm, causing the man obviously to scream, and then the scene to erupt into chaos because fire has now been...
You've now heard gunshots.
Exactly. With everything having gone awry, the pair fled down the stairs and out to the car, with several National Biscuit drivers following behind them now.
You know, they were doing these little ones that were going well.
At night.
And they got 2, they were putting on the Ritz. They were high-hatting.
I know what that's all about. Hi-hatting.
They were getting swelled. They were throwing on side, acting high-toned.
Acting high-toned.
You gotta keep it chill.
You gotta chill out. How do you say chill out in 1920s?
I think it's like, hold on. I'll look. Hold on. You gotta simmer down. You gotta cool your jets. Hold your horses. Keep your shirt on.
I like keep your shirt on.
Take it easy. Pipe down. Keep your hair on.
Keep your hair on. Why do I feel like your ma right now? She doesn't really talk like that, but like kind of.
But she kind of does. She has a 1920s vibe about her when she gets going.
Why don't you bebop a loopas, baby?
She does. She does the transit. I just like the like hi-hatting, getting swelled.
And swelled.
Getting too big for you, Brit.
Keep your hair on.
Keep your hair on.
Well, nobody's hair was on. Everybody was fucking terrified.
They were getting swelled.
They were getting rightfully swelled.
Acting way too high-toned.
An ambulance and police arrived at the scene a short time later, and Nathan Mazzo was taken to the hospital for treatment. A few blocks away, a patrolman came upon the Packard that the pair had arrived in. Whoop. And the driver, Arthur West, was still tied up in the floor in the back, on the floor in the back. The patrolman took the car and the driver to the nearest precinct, where he explained that he had picked up the couple at a hotel near Prospect Park and had driven them down to where the car had been found, at which point he was jumped by the couple and thrown into the back of the car.
Oh, damn.
He said he had not seen either passenger's face, but according to the press, quote, his description of both the girl and her companion tallied perfectly with that of the bobbed-haired bandit and her companion.
Oh.
After 17 successful robberies.
17.
17. We just did the highlights here.
Holy shit.
The holdup of the National Biscuit Company, Nabisco, changed everything for the bandit and her companion.
Wow.
Where she was spoken of as an anti-hero, now the papers were accusing her and her companion as attempted murderers and announcing, quite inaccurately, that Mazzo's wounds will, quote, probably prove fatal. They didn't.
Okay.
He was shot, which is very wrong.
Absolutely.
He was shot in the arm. He was not going to die. A few days later, he himself would capitalize on the spotlight, giving interviews where he heroically claimed that he'd been reaching for the gun, not trying to remove the bandit's veil, as had been suggested by the police and the press. He told a reporter, "Believe me, if I got that gun, I would have saved the police a lot of trouble. I'd have killed them both. That's what I'm going to do next time. I'm going to get the gun and I'm going to shoot her."
Honestly, I probably would have been as insufferable coming out of that.
Oh, if you shoot me in the arm.
Like, I would have come out and I would have been like, next time, I'm getting that gun.
I'm getting you.
Yeah.
You shoot me in the arm, you're done.
Yeah.
But if Nathan Mazzo was fantasizing about a second visit from the bandit and her companion, he would be sadly disappointed. After months of robberies and obviously very intense press coverage, the bobbed-haired bandit and her companion seemingly disappeared.
Whoa.
For weeks, NYPD officers and detectives spread out across the city in search of the bobbed-haired bandit and her companion. But the robberies had stopped altogether, and there was no sign of the infamous duo anywhere.
Wow.
Finally, in mid-April, investigators got a break when they learned that the Parkers, who were the couple that hired the car and the driver that took them to the biscuit company, were 20-year-old Celia Cooney. 20-year-old Celia Cooney and her 25-year-old husband, Ed.
Honestly, yeah, her companion is Ed.
The couple lived in Brooklyn until recently, when they gave up their apartment and told their landlord that they were moving down to Florida. NYPD detectives contacted authorities in Florida, who put out an alert across the state, and in the early hours of April 21st, Celia and Ed Cooney were arrested at a rooming house in Jacksonville.
Damn. Is that her?
Yeah. The bobbed-haired bandit.
She does look 20. She looks younger than that, to be honest. Yeah. Wow.
So now, who exactly were Celia and Ed Cooney?
Who were they?
Well, Celia was born into extreme poverty and raised along with 7 brothers and sisters by a single mother who relied on her children to beg for money in the street. That's how bad things were.
So she kind of, this was in her bones already.
Yeah. For most of her younger years, the family lived in a coal cellar until Celia was taken in by an aunt in Brooklyn when she was 14. In 1918, she moved out on her own, and a few years later, in 1923, she met her now husband, Ed, at a vaudeville theater on Fulton Street.
I love that.
I love
That's
a
so
vaudeville theater.
1920s. Like, that's so of the time.
And it's a beautiful love story, to be honest. She later remembered that night saying, I thought I'd blow 30 cents taking in a show and hoping to run into some friends. But by the end of the night, she struck up a conversation with the man next to her. And as the picture came to an end, she had fallen in love with Ed's quote-unquote wonderful smile.
Oh my God.
Right?
That's actually really sweet.
They dated for a few months before they decided to get married on May 18th, 1923, and Celia said, I'd never been so happy in my life, but we weren't saving a cent. Ed kept insisting on me buying myself some nice clothes. It seemed so wonderful to me to be loved and worried about, so we spent our money that summer almost as fast as we made it.
Wow.
At the same time, Ed was working as a welder for a small garage in Brooklyn. And while the salary wasn't great, it was enough to pay a small rent on the small room that they shared in a rooming house. But in September, Celia learned that she was pregnant. And that news changed everything.
Oh.
She told Ed, I'm not going to have my baby raised in a little 2x4 hole like I was.
Oh.
Insisting that they needed to find a more suitable home for their family. And Ed promised that he would find a way to make it happen.
Oh.
This was how.
This sounds like such a sweet story at first. You're just you root for them.
Yeah. And then they just said, you know how we could do that? Robbing a lot of
and you
places.
said, oh no.
This was how Celia and Ed Cooney became the bobbed-haired bandit and her companion.
Wow. And her companion, Ed.
At first, it all seemed like this strange fantasy to the young couple. Celia said, I had been reading magazines and books about girl crooks and bandits.
Girl crooks.
Girl crooks and bandits. And it began to seem like a game or play acting after Ed really came home with the guns. It was more exciting than anything I'd ever thought I'd do.
Wow.
The couple said they never intended to hurt anybody and they never wanted to. The shooting at the biscuit company was completely unexpected, and it was an unconscious reaction from Ed when he thought his pregnant wife was in danger. He told the police.
And in that sense, you're you put, obviously being in the position of robbing people
whilst pregnant.
Already, you lose that argument. You know what I mean? That's it. But now you almost believe her when she says, we didn't intend to hurt anybody because they never tried to before.
No.
It seemed like the intimidation tactic was what they were going with, and it seemed to work.
Yes, which is wrong.
And throwing people off kilter with her being the first one going in there with the gun, I think was their intention, throwing them off completely at first.
Yep.
And then Ed can saunter in all tall and
get everything done.
Get everything done.
Yeah. And I think his reaction was a somewhat natural instinct, I guess. He was just trying to protect his pregnant wife. But it's not okay.
They had put themselves in that position to begin with, so it's
precisely.
Your argument falls flat.
Precisely. He told police, I thought she had been struck or maybe cut, and I fired through the door at Mazzo, who fell. My girl was down, and I had to rush in. I picked her up and carried her out. And if they hadn't already planned to go to Florida after one final heist, the reports in the papers the next day certainly would have prompted them to run. Among the details of the holdup and the shooting were detailed descriptions of both Celia and Ed, along with orders from from Commissioner Enright to, quote, shoot her on sight if necessary.
Damn.
Which is I don't think that's necessary, but
yeah.
Okay. Without the money from the biscuit holdup, life in Florida wasn't much better than what they had in New York when they first got married. After spending most of their money on train and boat fares to get to Jacksonville, the two had run out of money, and they vowed not to commit any more holdups. Celia said, we had less than $50 left, and my baby was coming soon, which would cost money. The bandit stuff was over. We never even thought of trying that again. So Ed set out to find work as a mechanic in Jacksonville, but by then their descriptions had made it to the papers up and down the East Coast, and then would be followed by their actual names. So they knew it was only a matter of time before law enforcement caught up with them. A few days after their arrest, Ed and Celia were brought back to New York, much to the delight of the New York press, who were happy to have their main story back in the city. The pair were quickly arraigned on charges of armed robbery and assault, where they indicated their willingness to plead guilty to as many as 10 robberies. But they both maintained that they only started robbing stores in order to afford their baby and give Ed to find a better paying job, give him some time to do that. Celia proudly told the court that the world owed them a living, and she said, "We did not want our baby born in an unfinished room. We needed money to get furniture and set up our own home." And Ed said, "I had been reading in the newspapers of numerous robberies, and I decided I might get enough money that way to fix us up."
Damn.
Although enthusiasm for the couple had waned slightly once they were identified, Celia and Ed still had a fair share of fans, and more than a little sympathy. When they arrived to New York from Florida, their train was met by a mob of onlookers. Hundreds of people rushed the train's doors just in an effort to get a look at the bandit and her companion.
Oh, I believe it.
And more than a few of them were saddened to hear that just a few days before being brought back to New York, Celia had given birth to her baby, and the baby unfortunately passed away a few days later.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, the baby was buried in Florida. Detectives, meanwhile, had a hard time believing that Celia Cooney was the bobbed-haired bandit who had plagued them for months. If you see her, she's just this tiny little thing.
She's so little.
Friends and neighbors reported to investigators that Ed also was one of the nicest guys they knew, and they never would have suspected him to be an armed robber. But Celia, on the other hand, received fewer glowing reviews from people who actually knew her.
Oh.
According to one of her former landladies, Celia would, quote, lay in a filthy bed in a filthy room until noon every day, reading detective and true crime magazines and watching boxing matches.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there.
And an anonymous source interviewed by the press also had questionable things to say about Celia. They said she would talk to men on the phone who had Italian names, and I had the suspicion then that she was talking to members of the underworld. That's the way she struck me.
These men had Italian names.
Like, maybe she's just friends with Italians.
You don't say.
Like, Jesus Christ.
I love how it's just like automatically. Like, that is the wildest story.
Like, she's talking to Joe Bonino.
These men with Italian names, they're definitely part of the underworld.
They have to be. In the days after the arraignment, a new narrative was emerging in the press. Now that she had been unmasked, the bobbed-haired bandit was no longer a symbol of the feminist revolution. Now people just thought she was a low-class degenerate who had duped her husband into being her criminal accomplice.
Damn, how the mighty have fallen.
Wow. We didn't plan that.
No.
A few days after their arraignment, Judge George Martin announced that he wanted the pair to be evaluated by psychiatrists after receiving concerning letters from members of Ed's family. According to the letters, Ed had, quote, shown signs of a disordered mentality since childhood, and he displayed apparent inability to grasp a situation.
Oh.
Which is interesting.
That is interesting.
Celia, on the other hand, was described in dismissive and scathing terms. The press claimed that she, quote, had begun to visualize the unwritten part of the detective stories of which she is so fond of. She looks forward to the sentencing in court. Its dramatic possibilities appeal to her.
Oh, man.
So there's she's wrapped up in this crime fantasy world, really.
The images of her is falling slowly.
Yeah.
And now a little faster, actually.
They're making an example of her.
It's hitting the skids.
The psychiatrist's opinions of Celia were no kinder than the press had been. Celia, he claimed, was the head of the operation, while Ed was, quote, usually in the background, and his function was to smash the cash registers and gather in the loot, while his wife took center stage. The psychiatrist told a reporter, there was something abnormal and not womanly about her actions. She was acting under an impulse that was apparently unnatural. And in every case, she dominated the man who was with her. She was the director, and he was simply a tool.
I love how they're like, that's not womanly. I'm like,
yeah.
Excuse me?
I'm like, I should reevaluate my life then, I guess. A few weeks later, on May 6th, Celia and Ed appeared before Judge Martin, where they pleaded guilty to charges of robbery and assault. Each was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Ed went to Sing Sing, and Celia went to Auburn Correctional Facility, and they both had the opportunity for parole after 7 years. Before leaving the courtroom, Celia wrote one last note, this one to the judge, in the hopes that he would share it with the press. And the New York Times shared it. She wrote, to those girls who think they would like to see their names in the paper as mine has been, or think they would like to do what I have done, let me just say, don't try to do it. You don't know what you will suffer. While I smile, my heart is breaking in me.
Oh.
She was just lost.
She was very lost.
She was very lost.
Made
and what
very
she did
bad
was wrong.
choices. Very bad choices.
Very bad choices. But I do have this weird sympathy for her.
Because you think she obviously grew up in
with
very
nothing.
rough, with nothing. And it's like, she clearly fell into these, like, detective magazines and all that.
She
and
fell
thought
into
it was
her
gonna
own
be this
deluse.
glamorous, like, yeah.
Yeah. But the moral of the story is what she did was wrong.
Yeah, because while she was obviously lost and like thought it was going to be this whole glamorous thing, she also wasn't thinking about the people whose lives she was completely destroying
and putting at risk.
That kind of money, taking that from somebody like a grocer or somebody who owns a business.
That's their whole livelihood.
That's it. It's like, and they have families too that they need to take care of. So it's like, yeah, you may be pregnant. You may be trying to like feed your kid.
Right.
Taking it out of somebody else's mouth who's working hard for it is not the way to do it.
There's other ways.
Yeah.
Now, in late October 1931, Celia and Ed Cooney were each granted parole on the condition that they find suitable employment. Unfortunately for Ed, that was going to be pretty difficult. He had had an accident in the prison machine shop, and that had resulted in his arm being amputated.
Oh, damn.
He sadly died from tuberculosis just 5 years later.
Oh, poor Ed.
I know. Celia did manage to find work as a typist, and she remarried in the mid-1940s and just kind of did her best to stay out of the public eye. She relocated to Florida, and she died from natural causes in 1992.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy shit.
Yeah, she lived a long life.
Yeah. That was a swell, a Jake, a nifty, the cat's meow, the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees. I was having a ball. It was a whoopee.
And with all that being said, we sure hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep it weird.
I don't know, that was my best. Not so weird that you try a transatlantic accent and you really fail miserably at that.
Talk about regrets. We all know someone who's been in a car accident and said, I don't need to call a lawyer, only to regret it after their pain and damages were worse than expected. When someone hurts you, you deserve to be compensated fairly. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, fighting for the people for over 35 years. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast. Their fee is free unless they win.
Walmart shoppers, meet the debit card designed with you in mind. The Walmart Money Card offers up to $75 cash back on purchases at Walmart each year. Early direct deposit, overdraft protection, and so much more. When Walmart is your everyday store, you need a card to match. That's the Walmart Money Card. Open your account today. The Walmart Money Card is issued by Green Dot Bank, member FDIC. Fees, terms, and conditions apply. Visit walmartmoneycard.com to learn more.